Hey guys, we're gonna do a battery change on a Citizen Eco Drive. Now, Citizen Eco Drives are watches that take solar powered batteries. These watches are not like the regular batteries that we use. So when there's an issue with the battery or there's a charging issue, I usually leave it under a light just to kind of determine if it needs a battery changed or it could just be charged. But if the battery's something's wrong with the battery, it will start to flicker just like that. It will not be constant like it should be. So what I would do is I would just make sure I charged it in the light for about 6 hours and it still didn't hold charge and it was flickering just like it does. It like skips once or twice but then stops. So that just means that the battery is no good. But if it's doing that, that does not mean that you need to change the battery. That could just mean that you need to charge it. But if it still doesn't hold charge and it keeps stopping on you and keeps flickering just like this, then it's time to change the battery. Now, the only way to determine what type of battery it takes, it's a little tricky. But there's a number in the back that I can show you, and it's always going to be different for each watch. So let me just use my tweezer to kind of point out where it is and look. You see this number? It's B741. For this watch in particular, this is the type of battery it's going to take. The B741 has a different number. Every watch has a different number. So this one's B741. Now, based on this number, we're going to be able to find out what number of battery it takes. Now, your regular batteries, which go for the quartz movements, they go for, like they start at SR, CR. But when it comes to solar powered batteries, it starts with the number MT. So if you are looking for a battery for Eco Drives, it's going to start with the alphabet M and T. So once you have that figured out, what number it is over here, then I'm going to link it in the description. There's a website where you can actually put in this number and it will tell you what type of battery it takes and other instructions to either set the right time or reset the Eco Drives, because it's a different there's a different way to do it. So just based on that information, this is B741, and there's another like serial that follows it after. That's not important because I think just the first four, the alphabet and then the three numbers will matter the most. So this has to be opened. It says on the back that you can't do it on your own. You have to send it to the service center, but that's not true. You can do it at home as well. If you have the right tools, you should be able to do it. So now let's take one of these wrenches and we'll open it up from the back, and it might be slightly tight, but you can get this open. Okay, so now we're gonna see how this battery is situated. So look, this metal piece right here is being held down by this screw, and the battery sits right underneath. And without this, if you lose this, it will never work, because this piece is basically the sensor that puts the battery, takes the charge from the battery. And it's basically important for you to have this piece on top. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna unscrew this screw and we're gonna bring this piece out. So I'm gonna try to do it as close as possible to the camera. I'm gonna use one of my very sharp screwdrivers here. These are meant for like really small, minute screws. Okay, so I'm gonna try and show it in as much light as possible. The lighting's not that best, but we'll see. So I will take and I will unscrew it here. I'm going to be very careful because I know I'm going to end up losing the screw, and it's going to be really hard for me to find one because it's a very, very small screwdriver. So I'm going to use one of these magnetic ones just to lift it up kind of. And I'm going to try and open it. Okay, so I got the screw out. I'm going to put the screw here. And I'm going to lift this one as well. I'm going to lift it up. And I'm going to leave it on the side. Now, the battery that's in here is a MT920. MT920. And this is a Panasonic battery, and it's a Japanese battery. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change this. So just to get this out, we're gonna have to slide this piece, the metal one right here that basically holds it, just like that. I'm gonna slide it right out, and the battery comes out. But see, I'm gonna show you the difference between these types of batteries and regular batteries. Now, it looks like a regular battery, doesn't it? Just like a regular battery, has the marking on it, MT920. This is a regular battery on the left. A regular battery that basically is used for different types of watches, and has like normal back and the numbering in the front. So this is just a normal battery in my left hand. Now for this one, the solar powered watches, there's a metal piece that sticks out just like that, and it is attached to the back of it. So it's a very small groove where this goes in and kind of stays. So I'll show you. This is where it basically sits. This piece right here. This is where that metal bar is you're gonna basically put the metal piece right in here, the groove, and then you put the screw on top, and then the bar goes on top where it is basically gonna sense the battery. So that we're gonna be careful that you don't lose the screw and that piece. So that we're gonna definitely do. Now I have this battery. This is the MT920 battery that I ordered. You could find these on eBay, some watch repair websites. We can always find them over there as well. So this is the new battery. Now let me just make sure that it is the right number. Okay, this is MT920. Okay, so we're gonna take this out, and I'm gonna show you how to install it. I don't want to confuse. This is the old one, so I'm gonna leave it on the side. This is the new one. Now, look, it sits right here. You see that where the gold button is? That's where it sits. So I'm going to slide it in just like that. I'm going to slide it underneath that metal piece, and I'm going to hold it. Just make sure it doesn't move, and just slide it in. So I'm going to show you one more time just to make sure that you've seen it. Okay, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to take the battery just like that. I'm going to stick it in here just like that. Look. And this piece. Look. It's in already. But I don't think it will move. It is moving, but it needs a full charge. So what we're going to do is that we're going to keep this. I'm going to screw this on top first so that I can slide the metal piece right underneath. So I'm going to use one of these screwdrivers, sorry, and I'm going to screw it in just a little bit so that I can slide the piece in. Okay, so then I'm going to screw this in. It's a very tiny screw, so I'm going to be very, very careful when it comes to that. Sometimes it just slips, falls, especially when you're doing it at home and you don't have the right environment for it. It'll be the hardest thing for you to find. Okay, that I just tightened it just a little bit. I'm going to leave it right there, and I'm going to use this tweezer, and I'm going to place it on top, and I'm going to slide it in. Hopefully it's close enough for you to see. I'm going to slide this in and make sure that it stays secure. I'm going to use one of these screwdrivers. And okay, so that's it. And then now you can tighten it. Tighten it as much as possible. Don't overdo it. And that's basically how you do it. So I just installed this new battery. I secured it with this. And then I'm going to use the back again. I'm just going to put it on top. I'm going to slide it on, tightening it a little more. And once I can't do it with my hands anymore, I'm going to use the wrench. And that's how tight I want it. Now, once you've done the battery, I'm seeing that it's doing the same thing, but that only means that the battery needs more power. So I'm gonna leave it under light like a lamp, and I'm gonna leave it under there for 24 hours before I can determine that it's either the battery or the watch, but I'm sure this is gonna just fix that problem. So that's basically how you do an EcoDrive. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. If you have any special requests, let me know, and I can do those for you too. If you have any particular brand in mind that you want to see battery changed, I can do that too. Thank you so much, guys.